making history. Absolutely phenomenal.
And Ace is the champion of the Intel Extreme Masters World Finals.
Storm's still not quite done. MC is going to take this fight, though. 3 seconds left.
Last 2 rounds of matches got to start it well for ESC.
And this is a massive move for Zez, but he's not content with just a Nexus kill. He wants to win.
And it's all done. A flawless win.
Unbelievable Rogue with a 4-0 victory over Classic.
And they did it again in the Grand Finals. It's Norby!
Give it up for your Intel Extreme Masters World Champion!
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different, to the IEM Katowice 2024 group stage, Group A. Good to be back. Hello, welcome everyone. Of course, these events, IEM Katowice, did occur last week. We were there live, a part of the event, watching, experiencing it, and embracing it wholeheartedly. But something that did happen last week is that there were 3 streams going on. There was the main stream, there was a B stream, and there was a C stream as well. And I didn't see anything. I did not see. That's it. Oh, uh-oh. Did I mess something up? I think we're good. I didn't get to see any of the side streams, whether it's B stream or C stream. So we are here to catch up. We are here to catch things up here and to be able to find out what happened on those side streams during the group stage of IEM Katowice. We will not be covering any of the matches that happened on the main stream, and we won't be covering any of the matches that happened in the playoffs either. Again, you got the IEM or the ESL channel for all that content. Meanwhile, we're just going to be going over what happened on the B and C stream instead. So yeah, that is our plan. That is our plan here for tonight. For the upcoming weeks, again, there are 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. And there's a lot of matches. There's a lot of matches to go over, and we will be going over half of Group A today, the other half tomorrow. Group B will be next week, Group C sometimes next week as well, and we're basically going to be filling in the otherwise free days that we would have had. Again, we have a lot more free days available currently just because of WTL being on hiatus. Basically WTL, like WTL's on hiatus, Kung Fu Cup is on hiatus. A lot of events have kind of, you know, taken a break here in the off season of StarCraft. In that off season, we're going to be jumping in with some replay cast to keep you guys covered and entertained and just have non-stop StarCraft. Non-stop StarCraft. Every day, forever. Until I go back home. Let's go. Let us go. We have our first series of the night. We have 4 series here, potentially 5, depending on how fast things go. It is a round-robin group stage. We have GuMiho versus HeRoMaRinE, followed by Solar versus Trigger, followed by Scarlet versus Solar in a ZVZ, and we end the night with another TvT between Spirit and HeRoMaRinE. Again, a lot of Terran action here in this group stage, but we got some Zerg and Protoss sprinkled in as well. So, quite a lineup, quite a number of matches here. I am ready for some Cyclone action. Gibbs, Bobby, Gibbs. So GuMiho versus HeRoMaRinE is going to be the first series up for the night, followed by, of course, the rest of the series I did mention. Depending on how fast or how slow we are, we may also cover GuMiho versus Spirit at the end of the night. Again, depending on how slow or how fast these matches are. I don't want to just like overindulge in this, especially with the non-stop TvTs. We have a lot of TvTs available here, and I don't know how fast or how slow they are. We could be ending up in some, you know, long late game 30-minute siege lines, or we could have some very quick 5-minute games with Cyclones. It's possible. It is possible. So here we go. We are jumping into this. We have our first TvT of the night. Game 1 gonna be on Hecate. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, shout out to everyone in the chat. I do see Wormshake, Babylings, Werehog, Terran Lord as well. Welcome, welcome. Dzień dobry. Good to see you all. We are loading into that first game and spawning in the top right hand corner of Hecate. We have our blue Terran player from the land of Germany representing Team Mouse. It is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing his new team Cloud9. It is GuMiho. And I will just try and sort this out as well. How do I? One moment here. There we go. Just lowering the volume of the fanfare a little bit as we do set things up and settle into our next TvT. And I've been really excited to cover these TvTs. We missed out on them on the mainstream, and I'm excited just because I know that HeRoMaRinE has been overshadowed as of late by some of his other Terran compatriots over in the land of Europe, specifically Spirit. Spirit, over the course of 2023, has been getting better and better results and surpassing HeRoMaRinE season after season, time and time again in DreamHacks, in Gamers 8, and in IEM Katowice at the start of 2023 as well. So yeah, because of that, I've been really curious to see how HeRoMaRinE performs in this tournament and how he's able to really showcase himself against the other top players of the world, not just his own region, just because it feels like HeRoMaRinE had not the most amazing 2023 compared to years past. So I'm ready to bear witness. Already in this TvT, we are kicking things off with a double gas opener. Double gas here out of HeRoMaRinE. We do have a Rax expand out of GuMiho, so economic opener from our Korean Terran. We do have a much more aggressive opener out of our European Terran instead. Okay. Here we go. Of course, GuMiho comes in with an SCV scout. He's fully aware of what's going on. HeRoMaRinE skips the scout, by the way, so he's in the dark as to what is happening. Is going to be moving out with that first Reaper, soon to be scouting and figuring out what exactly is happening. Is going to first be checking these fringe locations outside his third, outside his fourth, just to make sure there is no proxy. Again, because there was no SCV scout, HeRoMaRinE can't be so sure. So very safe start here. Meanwhile, GuMiho doing GuMiho things, rushing into concussive shell. Not the first time we've seen this. This is a unique GuMiho build in TvT. This is designed to catch our opponent off guard. Again, early game Marauders, they can shut down Hellions, they can shut down Cyclones. 3-4 Marauders can really pack a punch here and can catch out an opponent being a little bit too aggressive. So a very cheeky move here out of GuMiho. As a reminder, again, I don't know any other Terran player that does this. So a bit of a GuMiho special, if you will. Let's go. That's why I love casting GuMiho. Like GuMiho, he's such a unique player. He's Miyamika-esque in a way where he's very creative. He thinks outside the box. And he does his own builds in every single matchup. With mixed success. Sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it fails. It's great nonetheless, though. Always a lot of good fun. So shut down one of those Reapers. The Marauders did reveal themselves. The best pickup, but a Reaper kill is good nonetheless, especially when we're building up those Reapers. Additional Marauders are on the way. As soon as concussive shell is done, we are going straight into Stim. Stim being researched second. Oh, sorry, I was going to say second Rax. My apologies. It's going to be a 1-1-1 opener instead. This is going to be leading into, I imagine, a drop play, or even we could double down with a Liberator and just be hyper aggressive across the map. Speaking of, we do have our first Cyclone. Very early tank production here from HeRoMaRinE, going for his initial medevac. Reaper is shut down, and GuMiho does not have eyes on the production. He doesn't know that we have gone out of Cyclone production into tanks already. Tanks are on the way. GuMiho going to be backing up. Again, retaining his army, going for that medevac, as we did mention. Ready for a more sustained push, and this is going to be a pretty wild attack. I was assuming we would be having 4 Marauders. We have 5, soon to be 6 Marauders with Stim and Medevacs as well to help support this, to help heal this. This is going to do quite a bit of DPS. Thankfully for HeRoMaRinE, the tank production. He will have tanks back at home set up, and pushing into tank lines, even with Marauders, is not going to be easy. Not going to be an easy feat here. As we do go for a drop into the main base of GuMiho. Third CC is on the way. Cyclone does go down. No more anti-air. Nothing shoots up. And HeRoMaRinE can just have his way with this, with this position. Takes down another Hellion as well. Very nice pickups here from HeRoMaRinE. Just taking advantage of GuMiho and taking advantage of his lack of anti-air. Again, he just can't do anything. Cannot shut this drop down. Gets a full scout. Gets eyes on the third TC. Upon seeing this third, he throws down his own. Now, HeRoMaRiNE's third is going to be quite late in comparison, but he knows he's safe. He knows he's safe and sound, and he's building up a very fast tank count. Marauder drop has arrived. Tech Lab goes down. Can he get the tank? Oh, he will. Massive pick of the tank will go down. But he does lose a couple of Marauders in the process. Ooh, takes the tank shot to the face. Bit of miscontrol, dropping a little bit too far out. The tank does survive across the map. We do get 3 SCV kills. And HeRoMaRiNE still keeping every unit alive. Oh my god, game! The juggling, Papi. Finally, we do have some anti-air in that Viking. We have the Cyclone to deal with it. Oh! As finally we will clean this up, but not before losing 7 SCVs. 7 workers go down. HeRoMaRiNE takes a pretty nice worker lead. Not amazing, but nice nonetheless, which is pretty important. Remember, GuMiho had a much faster third base, much faster third TC, faster mules, faster SCV production, so HeRoMaRiNE had to do damage here to even things up. On top of that, he defends beautifully, getting into his own third base timing, and the tank count, that's what matters right now here, as we have 2, soon to be 3 tanks against the 0 tanks of GuMiho. GuMiho just now finishing up his tech lab. So in a head-to-head fight, I do have to favor HeRoMaRiNE. But until then, we do have draw play, we do have harass, and HeRoMaRiNE is not slowing down. Opened up double Raven, going for auto start harass, and he doesn't get much done. The orders are in position. GuMiho has to be very careful with that Viking. It is so battered, so bruised. GuMiho going to be pulling back. HeRoMaRiNE chilling back at home, taking his third base on location. Likewise, so is GuMiho. HeRoMaRiNE enjoying a worker lead. Did trade more efficiently as well. I assumed he did. My apologies. As he did end up losing that 1 tank. Which did do quite a blow to his overall gas. GuMiho not slowing down though. What do we have here? We have 5 Marauders and 2 Marines. We do get eyes on the would-be turret. Do get eyes on it. Can't quite do anything about it. As GuMiho's trying to find another way in. And he's being spotted by HeRoMaRiNE. At the same time, we are reinforcing with tanks. Very committed attack here from GuMiho. And dives into the mineral line, goes in love with the tank as well. The repairs, they're not good enough. The Marauders just do too much damage. Ooh, that was a pretty costly trade. We had 5 Marauders, we're down to 2. Did kill a tank. GuMiho evening up, trying to even up the tank count. He's still got half the tanks of HeRoMaRiNE. Yeah, did replace the previous tank. Auto shots are being thrown down, and we should be able to hold on. GuMiho is forced back. Tank getting within range, though. Range of the mining. At the same time, HeRoMaRiNE setting up a big counterattack. I say big counterattack. A marine drop. But boys are being pulled, and damage is being done. Oh my god. Marines don't go ham here. SCVs are going down. Drop into the main. GuMiho tries to push in, but he will lose the tank. Oh, the tank goes down. The army as well. And HeRoMaRiNE is free to harass across the map. It gets 7 SCV kills. And even escapes with that medevac. And just like that, HeRoMaRiNE, he defends his third. He gets it up and running. He deals some economic damage to his opponent. And now it's time to counterattack. And this is what I'm concerned about. Look at the tank count. We have 6 tanks. 6 tanks for HeRoMaRiNE. We have 2 tanks for GuMiho. Do we have Interference Matrix? We do for HeRoMaRiNE. GuMiho doesn't have any Ravens. 0 Ravens here for the Red Terran. We come across the 4th base, and HeRoMaRiNE is going for the kill. He's going for the throat. Diving right into that natural. Boys are being pulled. The disables are too good. The Marines, they do come in for a surround. Not a bad engage from GuMiho, but he just doesn't have the numbers. doesn't have enough here. The Marines, they melt, and now we can push into the natural. Boys are being pulled, but it's too little too late. GG gets called, and HeRoMaRinE takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of HeRoMaRinE. The opener of GuMiho just wasn't able to do enough. Honestly, a lot of it did come down to the drop play of HeRoMaRinE. Remember, the first drop did so much damage, and because he killed the initial cyclone of GuMiho, GuMiho had no anti-air. Without any anti-air, he just could not deal with that drop, couldn't really force it back for that much longer. And HeRoMaRinE was able to gain a lot of value, was able to defend back at home, and the concussive shell opener of GuMiho wasn't necessarily worth it in the end. He did end up killing... Oh, let me just quickly fix that. Did end up killing a worker. I'm sorry, a tank, but only a single tank, and he just wasn't able to catch up in the tank count in the end. Wasn't able to keep up with the army of his opponent. As we are getting ready for game number 2, getting ready for Hardlead. Oh my. Game 2 going to be taking place on Hardlead, a much smaller map, a much shorter rush distance by ground. You can be that much more assertive and aggressive because we're involving a Korean Terran player. What are the chances that we proxy? What are the chances that GuMiho throws caution to the wind and just sends it here in game 2? It's a risky maneuver, yes, but I mean, GuMiho, he has no fear. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does decide to spice things up. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardlead. We have our blue Terran player representing Team Mouse, the German Terran. Leading the series 1-0, it is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player representing Cloud9. It is GuMiho. Let's go. Are catching up with the chat. Oh, and a big shout to Chileno, papi. Thank you so much. Sorry, we don't have any notifications on screen right now, but thank you so much for subscribing for 36 months. Oh my god, papi. 3 years. 3 years of support. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it always, papi, always. Thank you so much, Chileno. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Ojalá que todo te va bien. Hopefully everything is going well. Is this being played live? These are replays. Replays from IEM. These are a week old. IEM Katowice was last week. We are catching up on some of the side stream content. That's what we are here for. Once again, HeRoMaRinE opening up double gas. This time, GuMiho switches it up and does open up double gas as well. Here we go. As a reminder, last game, GuMiho did go for an economic opener. Has since fallen that or thrown that by the wayside. Now we are getting into game 2. Again, I don't expect GuMiho to go for another commitment into Concussive Shell Marauders as he did in the previous game. Was more of an unorthodox play style, and I mean, found some success with it, but just wasn't enough to really overcome the deficit that he had. I'm sure he was hoping to gain more value and snowball a little bit more out of control with his drop play. HeRoMaRinE was on top of it. So we'll see kind of where we do diverge, if at all. As for now, we're going for a racks into factory into expand. No one is going for a starport. No one is going for a one base all in or anything like that. Reapers are moving out and we are just scouting. GuMiho, he goes across the map, gets eyes on the CC. Meanwhile, HeRoMaRinE was just checking these fringe locations. Really risky, honestly, from GuMiho. If HeRoMaRinE had opened up a little bit more aggressively, then GuMiho may have even lost his Reaper if he had engaged. So risky maneuver to go across the map, but he does pull back. Does get back home. Cyclone on the way. Getting into our starport production. Meanwhile, HeRoMaRinE back at home, getting into his own starport eventually as well. Have our 1-1-1 setup. So interesting here is basically HeRoMaRinE did actually opt to invest into additional Reapers. Additional Reapers are on the way. That did delay Starport production as we were spending resources elsewhere. Meanwhile, GuMiho going straight for those Cyclones and getting ready for some drop play. Now, we haven't seen much Cyclone on Cyclone action yet in this TvT, but I imagine we're going to be getting into that momentarily. It is currently where the meta is, where it stands in Terran versus Terran. Committing to Cyclones in the early to mid game. And these Cyclone drops have been quite popular as well. The reason for this is because these Cyclones do so much damage to SCVs. They can do so much economic damage if they do get into a mineral line. And here we go, the drop play is upon us. Cyclones are moving out. HeRoMaRinE, interesting, goes for a single Cyclone straight into a tech lab, straight into tank production. Very similar to last game, if you remember. Last game, he went for a very fast tank. And this is a really risky maneuver to go for. We'll see if he can get away with it as GuMiho is coming in with his drops. Cyclones, they have arrived. SCV's under fire so far. Good reaction here out of HeRoMaRinE. Does save his workers. Will lose a Reaper, but does barely preserve his workers there. So good defense so far. Catches the medevac as well. Oh, GuMiho has to be very careful here. Caught out. Caught out of position. Reaper tip into the main base. It looks like one SCV goes down. Can we get another? We get two workers. Still not the best trades. Two workers for two Reapers. Yes, there's no escaping this. The Reapers are shut down. Cyclones, they come back in, but the tank is within range. And once again, we don't kill an additional worker. Really clean defense so far out of HeRoMaRinE, and GuMiho is forced back at home, getting into his own tank production. He has given up on additional Cyclones. And once again, working towards a very fast third TC. Very similar to last game, where GuMiho does have a faster third, but HeRoMaRinE has faster tank production. Ooh, and we are pushing. This is a really scary timing, actually. So, GuMiho's being greedy right now. He doesn't have much of an army. He has one tank. He has one tank on the high ground. We have Interference Matrix on the way, finishing up in a couple of seconds. And HeRoMaRinE, he may just be able to break the natural here and now. There he is threatening a dive. Oh, we'll lose the Cyclone. We'll lose the unit. Good tank volley there from HeRoMaRinE. Tanks are sieging. He does have an Interference Matrix. Does have it available, but he will not push in. Sees the army of GuMiho, will respect it, will back off. Again, I do think it's a wise choice, especially considering how many Ravens GuMiho has. He may not have Interference Matrix, but auto turrets are going to be enough to protect these tanks. A line of auto turrets would protect any kind of dive. Scan into the main, gets eyes on the third CC. GuMiho's is already done. Morphing into an orbital. Gabe does confirm that. Saying that the armies are going to be clashing. Auto turret is thrown down. That Raven up is going to go down. GuMiho being a little bit adventurous with those auto turrets. Being a little bit carefree with them. Has to be careful. Not to waste too much energy. As he is going to back off, rotate around, going for a drop across the map. Meanwhile, HeRoMaRinE also racing back home. Getting in position to protect his third base. Looking at the tank counts. Again, HeRoMaRinE does have the tank lead. Does come across the army. GuMiho will ignore it, goes straight for the main. Very little here to defend. Auto thrown down, zoning away some of the units here of HeRoMaRinE. And can we deny Stim? Oh, we could. Raven goes down. Very good pick up there. Yeah, but the tech labs will be shut down. Stim is denied. Not a bad position here for GuMiho, but the disables. Yeah, every single tank is disabled. The Vikings come in. We shut down the Ravens. We try to shut down the medevacs as well. And was this worth it for GuMiho? Gets a couple of SCVs. Gets 6. Workers drops here in towards the third. And he does deny Stim. But once again, GuMiho, he already had a tank deficit. And now I'm afraid to look. We have 6 tanks to the 1 of GuMiho. Ay, ay, ay. Like, I know for a lot of TvTs recently, it's been all about the Cyclone, less about the tank, but now that we've kind of gotten past the Cyclone phase of the game, it is about the tank count here. And HeRoMaRinE, he just has a devastating army. He retains his Ravens, quickly checking the Raven count was reset for GuMiho, so he's down in tanks, and the way to make up for that would have been with Ravens, but lost all of his Ravens as well. He's down to Vikings, really, that he has to rely on. And Vikings, they can help. They can zone away the Ravens, they can focus them down, they can give GuMiho extra range. It's the only thing that GuMiho really has going for him. I mean, I say that, he does have a better economy. Again, faster third base, he killed some SCVs, he does have a better economy. With that, he can maybe get into a faster second factory. He can make up for things that way. 4 CC on location. HeRoMaRinE, do we move out? It would be a wise choice here to wait for Stim. GuMiho has a lot of time to recover. Has a double drop on the right hand side. The Vikings are here to stop him. Oof. Yeah, both medevacs go down. Likewise, GuMiho throwing away some of his Vikings as well. Has to be careful. GuMiho does have a 2 Viking lead. But only 2. Promir is going back into medevac production because he just lost them. Meanwhile, HeRoMaRinE going back into Vikings. So HeRoMaRinE, he is catching up in those Vikings. He's looking to take control of the skies. We shall see. Likewise, GuMiho already working on 2-2. Does have a slight upgrade lead as HeRoMaRinE is about to catch up, and we're still just chilling back at home, building ourselves up. So we still maintain that supply lead. Despite their better economy, GuMiho, it still hasn't really kicked in. He has been just focusing on Marine production. Here we go, HeRoMaRinE now moving out. He's caught up in the upgrades. Tied up with 1-1. Combat shields finishing off with both players. We have Stim. And HeRoMaRinE, he can now push. About to max out. There we go, mate. I mean, again, GuMiho, he does have the defensive advantage, but the tanks. Shots go off on those Marines. Vikings going ham. The Viking count is even between the players. HeRoMaRinE, he is looking for a way in. Yeah, Vikings for sure. Do we get the disables? We do! We get one. We get 2 tanks disabled. We collapse here on the position. And HeRoMaRinE, he can keep on pushing. Again, there are 2 tanks left. Just now sieging. And GuMiho, he just can't keep up with this army. He was a little bit too careless earlier. Again, I wasn't convinced by that Doom drop into the main. He just fell further and further behind in that tank count. The Marines, they stim on forward. They shut down the flank. They collapse here on top of the tanks. We do have reinforcements on the way. But Gabe, he just has far too much here outside the bases of GuMiho, and he's slowly pushing forward, encroaching upon the natural base of GuMiho. And on the production. We have a second factory, but it's compromised, and we just push right towards the third. And Gabe, he won't be stopped. You can see the supplies are similar. That's going to be a kill in the CC. But that's GuMiho's STV count. His worker count is really providing for that. Now we came in the production as well. The factory is going to be going down. We cut GuMiho off from his own fourth. We're within range of the mineral line. XCVs are going down. GuMiho, he has a base on the left. Oh my god. He was so greedy, Papi. He was so insanely greedy. The boys are being pulled. We don't have a lot of Marines. And GuMiho, he comes in from behind. He collapses here on the tanks. A big moment here for GuMiho. And HeRoMaRinE, he was out of position with his Marines. He's being cleaned up. completely cleaned up here as every single tank goes down. A very nice move here out of GuMiho. As the dust does settle, he did lose 23 workers. He is on 4 bases, up a base compared to his opponent. HeRoMaRinE just now taking his own 4th. 2-2 is done. Gabe's still breaking through though. His army is still standing. Scans ahead of time. Gabe, he doesn't see the base on the left-hand side. Doesn't see the 4th. Doesn't know. Otherwise, he would shut it down. You see GuMiho going for a desperation drop across the map. HeRoMaRinE maintaining this position. His reinforcements are rallied across the map as well. He doesn't have much at home to defend. GuMiho, he has potential with that counterattack. As he does catch some reinforcements. Moves towards the 3rd base. SCVs are exposed. GuMiho. The boys are being pulled. Reinforcements, they race back home. And GuMiho, he will be cleaned up. Doesn't kill enough workers. Did buy time though. Did force back the army. So now, as we take control of the Zonaga, and we have found the ninja base. The saving grace here, the base keeping GuMiho in this game, and he will lose it. 11 workers go down. The base will be saved. Damage is being done. Likewise, GuMiho also going for a drop across the map. He isn't out of this yet. 3-3 still on the way for both players. Gabe, he still has a marauding force across the map, denying so much mining here at the 4th base of Gabe. But the drop comes back in. So we have 2 armies here moving out. The tanks are exposed. GuMiho going to be able to shut down these tanks and push in towards the natural. At the same time, HeRoMaRinE, he cannot push into the natural of GuMiho. Too much to defend. With the reinforcements, we do have enough though. HeRoMaRinE, he does break out, does break free. And takes down these tanks, takes down the army of GuMiho at the same time. June drop into the main base, camping the production. And this is the kill move. GG gets called, and HeRoMaRinE does take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. A bit of a more chaotic game there towards the end, but in general, HeRoMaRinE had a pretty big advantage for quite some time. It was a similar story both games, and I found it really interesting. Both in game 1 and game 2, Gabe, he very quickly went into tank production. And his opponent wasn't quite able to punish him. When you go for tanks that early on, going Mass Cyclone into Ravens with disables, with interference ranges, you can punish the defending player. You can actually break through because Gabe didn't really have that much to defend, but he got away with it, got away with a higher 10 count, and GuMiho was being a little bit careless with his army there, did throw away a lot of supply, did have a better economy, that's true, right? Like he had a faster 3rd, faster 4th, faster 5th, like he had a booming economy, but he just wasn't able to really translate that into an army that was able to keep up with HeRoMaRinE and make up for the deficit that GuMiho had early on. You could definitely argue that the second factory was late. You could also argue that the second factory was exposed. Remember, it was killed. It was at the natural base, and that was the way that GuMiho was going to try to catch up in the tank counts, and he never did. He was never able to. Factory went down. GG. GG, well played. With that, Gabe does take the 2-0, does take down GuMiho, and a pretty strong start here to Group A.